This is Wise dropping by, and I'm actually on my morning fitness routine, going around for my jog and stuff like that. So I just thought I'd come in and share just one or two thoughts with you guys. And yeah, so I think we are at a point where in this world right now, we have like two economies going on. You got the old economy, which is all about the bricks and mortar and all the good stuff. And then, of course, you got the new economy, which is all about, the e-commerce, information industry, and all the other good stuff. But I think it's safe to say that what we're seeing right now is that the old economy, which is about bricks and mortar, has been badly affected by COVID and all the other stuff that's going on. But at the same time, you're also seeing that the new economy has been like the economic salvation point, if I want to put it that way, for a lot of companies that were really stuck in the bricks and mortar. But then they managed to find a way to navigate into the new economy, and of course, things are kind of moving, and some of them are making record profits and stuff like that, which is still amazing. But I think one of the things that is coming into play is the fact that, of course, that when you talk about e-commerce in the whole digital economy, you cannot finish the conversation without talking about Amazon, right? So, in one of the things that's interesting is if you look back when Amazon started way back in the mid-90s. What Jeff Bezos did, he just took the vision that he had and the blueprint that he had. Of course, naysayers had to say what they said, but they didn't care about that. He just keep pursuing the vision. And now we have it in 2021. And even last year as well, we saw a lot of people creating business around Amazon and stuff like that. Incredible way. And of course, you can talk about authors and stuff like that. That's a whole different topic for another day. But I think you can appreciate the power of Amazon in this world, particularly last year and the year before. Amazon, like I said, has been in existence since the mid-90s. But the amazing fact is the last 2-3 years, we've seen really the power of Amazon on a big scale. And in particular, the last 14, 15 months, that's when really a lot of people begin to wake up to realize, the real magnitude and the real force and the real power behind companies like Amazon and many of these players within the digital economy. But I think I find it fascinating that when Jeff Bezos started way back in the mid-90s, he did not know that 2021 or 2020, Amazon was going to be a key pillar within the global economy. He didn't know that, but he just took what he had according to the blueprint, and he went with that. And we're seeing the economic benefits not only to him, to Jeff Bezos alone, but to the rest of the world. It's particularly in the first world economies, we're seeing the power of Amazon and the economic gains that are happening in countries and people and stuff like that. So I think it's just fascinating to think about that in terms of saying that you see the power of faith in that regard, because now we have a situation where somebody took a vision that they had, the blueprint that they had, and they just ran with that. And now this is where we are. And think about that in the context of all those people. Maybe you might be yourself. Maybe you could have an idea that you're sitting on. Maybe it's whatever it is that maybe you might be sitting on for years, or maybe some people started things, but then you got discouraged along the way, and then you decided to stop, and because of what people say and stuff like that. But look at it. Then think about the fact that Jeff Bezos and a lot of the entrepreneurs, they never saw beyond 10 years. They never saw like 20 years what's going to happen. True, they could have an inclination in their spirit that, no, this thing I'm doing can go that much. But a lot of them really, they never knew that thing which you're carrying was so powerful and much bigger than they initially thought. And it also reminds me of, if, for example, in Zimbabwe, there's a guy called Strive Masiyiwa. If you are familiar with African stuff, you might be familiar with him. You might not be. That's okay. But he's a billionaire, and from Zimbabwe. Now, when you see a billionaire from Zimbabwe, people are like, what? People get shocked because a lot of people think that Africa it's one of those places that it's just a dark continent, and we can blame the media for that, because we know over the last 2-3 decades, anytime the media has focused on Africa, half the time it has been about negativity, poverty, people begging, and all the other stuff. But really, it's actually mind-blowing for a lot of people to think that right in the first world economy, in the first world, we see there are a lot of people from Africa who came in, who are doing amazing things, which is a conversation for another day. But let me go back to Strive Masiyiwa. I'm looking at the legal challenges he had to go through, fighting the government of the day. I think five years of legal battles and stuff like that. And ultimately now is the point where like I say, he's a billionaire in US dollar terms. So so you see that power of vision, faith, and tenacity and stuff like that. So I think that's one of the things about entrepreneurship. They're having the faith to be able to go through whatever you need to go through so that you can get to the other side. And I think part of what happens is what I call the acid test. Because of course that the acid test will come in different forms to different people. With Amazon, he had to go through his own challenges. That's Jeff Bezos for you. He had to go through his own challenges. Might be different from what Elon Musk had to go through. It might be different from what Strife Masway had to go through. Because a person like Strife Masway, to fight the government of the day, he did nothing wrong. He just had an idea. But then the people, the major powers that be, thought that they didn't want him to go and make it without them. That's a whole different topic around African politics and stuff like that. But I just wanted you to think about that in the context of having an idea and faith and rushing through that and running with that. And I think it brings me back to the video I did last week on my, or you can check it out on my Wisdom International Instagram page, where I was talking about Noah, the fact that God spoke to Noah building an ark. Noah didn't know what an ark was, but it took years to build. And of course, naysayers to say they had a few opinions, as per usual. You know how they do, naysayers, naysayers. They always have a thing to do whenever they see somebody doing something. So with Noah, it was the kind of same situation where Noah had to build an ark, and of course, naysayers said what they said, but Noah didn't stop. He went and built an ark, and then probably 100 years later, whatever the amount of years it took, eventually then the flood came, and Noah he found refuge because he'd done the work to get there. So this is the deal. So I think I just wanted to throw that thought to you guys this lovely Tuesday morning to say, think about that in the context of faith, ideas, vision, and doing what it takes to get to what it takes. Look, I know that seasons come and go. Some seasons, some people, you might be going through storms and stuff like that. And of course, there are seasons where everything is all hunky-dory, which is all cool. But I think for the entrepreneurs, I think for those of you who are visionaries, some of you might have quit ideas because what people said, but still, even though you put the idea on the shelf, there's something in your spirit that tells you that no, there's got to be something. I haven't figured it out yet. I don't know what it is, and the challenge now becomes because it's ultimately is not nobody else. Because if God gave you the vision, you cannot expect other people outside of you to interpret the vision according to the blueprint that God gave you. So it ultimately comes back to you and how God gave you the vision, how God gave you the blueprint. Only you can decode that, and maybe you can find a few people that you can work with. Some people might get it, that maybe you can work with and stuff like that. But yeah, just think about that today along the lines of having an idea and having the vision and having the capacity and the tenacity to do what it takes to bring it to pass. So on that note, guys, I gotta bounce. And of course, for those of you who are interested to learn more about the digital economy and opportunities available and all that's going on and what that means for you and me, you can check out Unleash the Book Within via my bio, and it will bless you. On that note, guys, always remember, you have an uncommon destiny. I gotta go. Catch you guys later.